When I say the word college, I feel like it has a whole different meaning. And people think of the words like competitive, expensive, waste of time and money, useless. And then even worse, when we think of the job market, we think competitive, terror, especially with social media, AI, and there now being more non-traditional streams of income. People can gain financial success without the need to go to college. Why go to college? But I can also just learn all this online. With the rise of AI, funding for universities are going down. What's gonna happen? That's made me spiral into like education is a thing I am super passionate about. As a college student, what am I actually learning right now? What are they actually teaching in this crazy age of AI? Like, what are they teaching kids these days? So I wanted to give some insight into what I learned in a week, what discussions I'm having in my classes, and I really think this is gonna inspire you or just give you some hope in general for our future. I'm a sophomore at UC Berkeley and I'm studying media studies and history with a minor in health and wellness. I'll get to that later. But going to class is honestly the most inspiring thing, and I don't know what I'd do without school. I'm so privileged and grateful to be able to go to school, have education, go every day to my classes. I feel like I leave my discussions feeling so enlightened, feeling so much hope for the world that I do not get just by going on social media, going on the news. These are the conversations I've been having. These are the things I've been learning. This is just basically me talking about what I'm learning in class. I have taken a really wide range of classes because I have my major and my minors all over the place. I'm gonna start off, I'm not gonna tell you the class name because it's gonna bore you to death, but we talked about AI and thinking, AI and ethics. We discussed just our real fears as 19-year-old students with AI. Okay, I'll tell you the class name now. It's called The Craft of History, so we talk about history a lot. Honestly, I think history is the most important subject for all of my history majors. And we talked about, as I talked in the beginning of the video, with the education system being endangered. That was like a real fear everyone had. There's things where people are starting to incorporate AI into learning environments. AI is being integrated in Google Gemini. You can't like not interact with it now. And if kids have that as such a developmental level of being so young, then what does that mean for just AI and thinking? Sorry, my light. I'm literally using my computer screen right now because guys, I am a college student. But like, what does that mean for kids then? If kids are informing themselves with AI-driven content, if we don't know how to think for ourselves, then bro, our society is like in ruins. Like, we don't know how to think for ourselves. So that's why it's so important to have education that's separate from AI. And maybe AI can help with like lesson plans or things like that, but integrated. But we cannot replace thinking with AI, and that's the scary part because thinking is hard. Thinking's a really hard part. What are the ethical implications of using AI as a historian? Like, where does that start? Where does that end? Like, when the author uses AI to maybe like outline a research paper, does that ruin their integrity behind it? It's like a really weird line to draw that's really hard to answer, but we're discussing these things now. I'm like, when will I ever discuss this? I'm sorry, so sorry. Well, that's on AI, but I also want to say in the start of the class, categorizing the last 20 years of our life was. So I'm 19, so just my whole life. How do we categorize it? What are the most important moments from the last 20 years? And it was really interesting to look back and see how crazy the last 20 years have been. In the last 20 years, the invention of the iPhone. We have AI, we have elections, wars. We had to give it a name, and one group said to label the last 20 years to just be terror. And I think in that moment, I was like, wow. Like, if we do look back on it, it's really scary where we're going to. But in that moment, I was like, I think I found my life's purpose to make people more optimistic about the future. Because it's so scary. And like, actually so scary. Generally, trying to make people more optimistic about the future because it's so easy to just be like, oh, AI is going to take over. Or just be totally black and white. But it's not productive at all to be super pessimistic about things, even when it's realistic. We really need hope, and we really need people to teach others that like there is hope and there's ways and that there's people who care about this. And so that's why I'm kind of making this video, because students care about this stuff. I feel like we hear so much about Gen Z is so like their attention span, the Gen Z, but these are the most like inspiring people. The world was run by these people in my classes, man. Like, bro. In one of our exercises for our discussion, we got two primary sources. One of them was ChatGPT generated, one of them was not, and we had to decide which one was which. And it's really scary because it fooled like a lot of Hey, if I see an M dash, really scary how realistic it can be. And even at UC Berkeley, like #1 history program, we couldn't really decipher it. And it's scary. It's really scary. From that class, I've been thinking about optimism, AI, that kind of stuff. Next, I code, guys. I've been coding. I'm media studies and my concentration is digital studies. So that means I have to take a data science class. And I think it's actually so cool because I do have these classes back to back. So looking about history, grappling with really hard questions, but next moment I'm like coding and it's super cool. I'm learning Python, tables and arrays, joints, I think joints and grouping, showing data in a very digestible way. And I think it's so fun. It's like building a little, like, you can build a little table. We can do which columns you want. I have so many friends who are like data science, computer science, and they're doing so many cool things with computers and coding websites and just creating, because I love creating, right? But they can create with like code. And I think that's like the part I really like about it. Maybe I can create like a website. Maybe I can create a little like thing that bounces up and down saying like hi. And I kind of want to do like integrate that in my life. I think it's a really cool class. And I have my first project, but yeah, so I'm learning how to code in Python. Super cool. Next, I'm learning about psychology. It made me realize, wow, there's a lot of unethical things people did to like this try to understand how people learn and stuff. The whole baby Albert thing, have you heard of that? They just like traumatized a baby. Like this baby was not scared of rats. And then every time he saw a rat, they like cried like a rat. Started crying. And I did that from like the rest of his life. He was scared. Like, wow, that's horrible. He just traumatized. Anyways, also like how drugs affect the brain. I wrote a paper on how social media affects the brain. It's really scary because I think recently I've been hella addicted to Instagram and I need to stop because it shows the same patterns as drugs. So like learning about that, super cool. Which also psychology, why am I taking psychology? Is for my health and wellness minor. You see, you can like learn, you can grow, you can have relationships if you're not like well on the inside. That's why I'm a health and wellness. I love my professor because he's so motivating. He's like, if you have any goal, you got it. And honestly, sometimes I just need someone to believe in me. Anyways, we learned about goal setting and like extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation, cardiovascular disease, cancer, how scary it is, how much we learn about obesity and also race and obesity, how like your heredity can actually impact it like crazy. And it was very interesting to see those patterns. Even the term healthy with all this like noise from social media, like how do we decipher it? There's like too much these days. If we are not happy with ourselves, if we aren't fulfilled internally, then what's the point of life? Honestly, if we don't have fulfilling relationships, if we don't have a job of love we love, what's the point of life? I really love my professor. He said that like so many people doubted him because, you know, he started the health and wellness program, 3 degrees, and I was like, I want to be you. Anyways, let's transition back. I'm also taking a history of India class. But okay, before I bore you, before you're like, no. It's really interesting. We're learning about the history of yoga and guys, I love when my 3 majors like intersect. Like history of yoga, health and wellness, what? And because I took a yoga class last semester for my health and wellness, the role of media in a history, how that determines things. Like, it's so cool, it's so But also the most important thing that I think I'm learning from this class is how do we know what we know? My professor said a huge thing that maps aren't just maps, they're an argument. They're a claim someone's trying to make. Because the processes are more important than the actual info at some time. Which applies to everything. Politics, how do we know what we know if we get it from Facebook versus Instagram versus TikTok? The books we read, the people we surround ourselves with. And it's so straightforward, right? But like really think. That's why we're so polarized as we go into such a algorithmic age. It's everything so echo chamber, individualized compared to like last 20th century where we all get from info from a news outlet. And then lastly, my restorative yoga class, which is basically a napping class, and you're like 2 hours where we just have to breathe and feel our breath. This is honestly the most important class for me because I am so go. I know sometimes we don't know how to rest, we don't know how to stay still, but this class just teaches me to just be, but just to like lay down and have the earth support you and just breathe. This unlocks so much in me. You know when you go to sleep and then all of a sudden you think about everything in your life? It's because you haven't really had the time to process this during the day because you're always like looking at shows, TVs, like all constant stimulation, but it just allows me to just think. Well, I also feel like I get so creative. At night, I get so creative about YouTube, like I'm always up thinking about YouTube videos because I think it's the one time I like just stop consuming content. So that's like a goal of mine to create more than I consume. But it also just makes me so creative. Like I start thinking of YouTube things. I start being like, what videos can I make? Just having nothing around me to just think, create, like being forced to do it though, because I have to get this for a grade. Like having to just stay there, lie down, yoga poses for 2 hours a week. Try that, try it. And so those are things I'm learning in class, but I also want to add on the end, like things I'm just learning in life. And so number 1 is just because I could do it doesn't mean I should do it. This is going with career, because in college, especially as a sophomore, do I go like a corporate route with money, status, or do I pursue passion and fulfillment? I think I know the answer, but I'm like kind of scared. But going off of that, uncertainty makes life so exciting. The way that I don't even know what I'm gonna do in life, the way I don't even know who I'm gonna meet, I don't know so much about my life. I don't know where it's going. It can stress so many people out. I don't know. Yeah, it stresses me out at times, but it's so exciting. That makes like the world is my oyster. I know I will succeed. I know it'll all work out. Like I genuinely have that faith. That makes life so cool. Oh, also, I don't need much to feel happy. That's what I'm like learning. Like I think I've been such like a basic routine and finding joy in the littlest of things. Even when I go out, like have fun as I don't know, have a normal college experience of like partying and stuff. Like I just like, this doesn't feel as fulfilling as if I would just like have my cup of tea and just like be indoors hours. I love my mornings. I love my walks. It makes every day such an incredible day. So I learned I don't need much to feel happy. And then lastly, life doesn't start when you're fixed. Being fixed is impossible. You've seen up 90-day transformation and they look fixed and they look done, and then you think once you're fixed you can either get into like a great relationship, you can go get a good job, everything you want. But life doesn't start when you're fixed, and you're never completely fixed. I was like, wow, if we just like live, if we just live, why do I keep trying to be perfect? Why do I keep trying to like, I know I want like, you know, the perfect job, the perfect body, the perfect like relationships and things like that. You know, that's not realistic, and like you don't have to be fixed. You don't have to be fixed at all. Genuinely, learning is so valuable. Everything stems from education. There's a reason why government cracked down on education, why people are so adamant for certain books to be education, because it's what you learn, it's knowledge. Knowledge is power. Staying educated is important. I'm so grateful that I get to go to college every day and stay educated, learn new things from world-renowned professors who like have won awards and discovered cool things, can read. I urge you to learn, research, read. Honestly, just ask why. Ask why things are the way they are, and we have everything at our fingertips, especially with AI. You can do it so easily. In my opinion, my professors and teachers and people in classes are the coolest people in the world. Having so many important conversations about the future have given me hope, and I really hope by sharing this with you, giving you a little hope for the future as well. And yes, I worry about my future career, the next generation of kids, the environment, current state of the world, politics, everything, but I just want to let you know, if you feel insane and you feel like me, it's not just you who's concerned by these things. Everyone, so many people feel the same, and that's the refuge I feel when I go to my class. It honestly just starts with one person talking about it, and it can generally start with you, just having curiosity. It's not productive to be like, oh, the world is going into shambles, because there's hope. I hope I could give you hope by just sharing just a few things I'm learning in 2026, when hope can sometimes go down. That's a little glimpse into what I am currently learning, both in the classroom and outside the class. This is a strange video idea. Anyways, please like and subscribe. I know this is generally not my usual vlog. Also, I haven't done vlogs in a while, which I will get back to, but my life has been great. My life has been good, guys. And let me know if you want more. Anyways, comment, like, subscribe, do it all. Turn on post notifications. Just do everything, okay? Learn. That's all I have to say. Maybe email a teacher you had that you're grateful for them and that they should get paid more. Goodbye, have the best day, and go read a book.